People are really passionate about this because to us this is life and death. This is us fighting for our lives. So I would just like to, just put that across. I'd like to ask from a disability perspective. People are, unfortunately 250,000 people in an area. There's a high percentage of people that are going to have disabilities, whether they're physical, mental, any illness. What factors have you taken in for this? What have you put in place to make this reasonable? I couldn't do 3 buses to get to an appointment, to get to A&E if something was wrong. I've been very fortunate that A&E has been there for me, and I've accessed all of your services, and I've been very fortunate with what I've had. And, I've been lucky, and people are going to be needing these services. How are you, people can't access the transport, people can't access these services. How are you going to make it? How are you going to cover Equality 2010 Act to make sure that this service is available and for everybody? This is people's safety you're talking about from an access point of view. I really can't manage in Merthyr Hospital, as an example. And I'm very able, I've been lucky enough to represent my country, but how are people that can't do it?
I'll take that question as a very, very specific one for an answer now, because I think it's a really important question.
I think the passion of you all and the value which you hold the services is quite humbling when you stand here, and it makes us realise the responsibility to get this right. I can assure you that the physical, mental, other disabilities, we're looking at those as far as we possibly can so that we understand the impact of any changes on people with different disabilities in different areas. The only thing I challenge you on is that you shouldn't need to be lucky to access good services. We owe it to you, and why we're standing here is to take that away from luck to being something that you can rely on. The sad thing, and why we're all standing here, is that we just haven't got the staff to deliver those services in the way that we'd like.
Okay, that was my next point. That's actually my next point, because I've been very fortunate to be part of, obviously I've been to the Paralympic Games. For that, they have things in place that don't make athletes gold medalists overnight. It takes years, and they put things in place for like 4 years, 6 years. You've had 6 years. What has been put in place? What can be put in place? And how do we get those things in place now? Maybe we need to confer with other organisations and other businesses to how they achieve them things.
Okay. You know what? That's a really, really difficult question to answer. I can't turn the clock back. The board made its decisions going back 6 years. It did start to put some things in place. So, for example, we've got one of the very best acute medicine services that sits behind the front door, and that's been built up over the last 6 years. The GP out of hours service in the Rhondda, Taffeili, Cunnan area is now up to full tilt. All of the shifts are now covered. We've got a whole lot of new community services coming in terms of things like virtual wards, more care in the community, a lot of transformation work happening, lots more to do. So my understanding is that the board did quite a lot in trying to do some preparation work for the eventuality that they wouldn't be able to recruit into the A&E department. And as I've already said to you, that the one thing that we haven't done, that the board hasn't done in the past, is had a really strong recruitment campaign, and that's the one thing we're going to have to put right as we try to work out what are the solutions going forward.
Because we've also been offered, as an athlete, I'm sorry to think, we've been given the opportunities because that's what we've been given. Maybe we need to give those opportunities to the doctors, to the nurses, so that we make things our best. We make them our champions, and we make them our gold medalists.
Thank you. Sarah, thank you. Thank you all so much.
And please look after people with access needs. Thank you.
Sarah, so thank you so much for making those points. Can I take the next batch of a little bit of technical help here? Is there any air conditioning? Or?
There is. I tried to get it on, but typical on a night like tonight. It's failed. So
I'm sorry. It's, you wave your hands. Okay, I'm going to go. I gave particular time to Sarah Head because I thought her background and her contribution is so important. I'll take batches now because I see there's a lot of people waiting. I want to make sure everyone